Hello and good morning to you all. Welcome back to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast brought to you by the last man standing with loserpool.com. As ever, I'm your host, Harry Symeou, and I'm sure some of you are still waking up here in the UK, 9:30 in the morning, an early stream. I've been up since the crack of dawn, but we're going to talk about the breaking news. Nacho Monreal has left Arsenal and will join Real Sociedad on a permanent deal. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another live edition of the podcast. This morning, we're talking about the breaking news. Nacho Monreal has joined Real Sociedad. It's been confirmed by Arsenal Football Club. We've been hearing about this for a little while now. There's been talk of Nacho Monreal leaving, rumblings that he was going to be allowed to leave before the transfer deadline in Europe closed, which I think is on Monday. But yeah, I've been dead against this ever since we first heard about it. And it's not because I disagree with Arsenal sort of moving on the older players and trying to get rid of some of the previous regime and freshening things up. I just feel like the timing isn't right for Arsenal Football Club. When you're talking about the amount of money we're going to get, it's not a significant amount of money. There's no confirmed information on that fee as of yet. We're hearing some people talking about 250,000. Which is a really insignificant amount of money these days. So for me, it just doesn't seem worth it. It doesn't seem worthwhile to leave ourselves short at a time when Kieran Tierney is still a couple of months away from regaining full fitness. Sead Kolasinac is likely to walk back into the team now for the North London derby tomorrow. It just feels like the timing of this is all wrong. Now, Arsenal have, of course, officially announced this on their website. Let me bring up the announcement and we'll quickly run through that. You can see it here at the top of the Arsenal homepage. Monreal joins Real Sociedad. If we click into that, we'll have a quick look at what the club have had to say. Nacho Monreal has joined La Liga side Real Sociedad in a permanent deal. The Spanish left-back joined us from Malaga in January 2013 and made 251 appearances, scoring 10 goals. During his time with us, Nacho played in his natural left-back position and also in central defence. He won 3 FA Cups, 3 Community Shields, and played a big part in our run to the Europa League final last season. A full international since 2009, Nacho was part of the Spain squad at the 2018 World Cup. He's made 22 appearances for his country. We would like to thank Nacho for his contribution to the club, and everyone at Arsenal wishes him the best for his future. This transfer is subject to the completion of the regulatory process. So Nacho Monreal is gone. Nacho Monreal is now a Real Sociedad player. There was talks of this deal being done in time for him to play in last night's Basque derby, but that didn't happen. It's now happened today. So he's off. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments if you're watching us live, or if, of course, you're watching back on the replay or listening back to the audio version. What are your thoughts on the sale of Nacho Monreal? Do you agree with me that the timing here is all wrong, or do you think it's for the best? And are you happy to see the back of the Spaniard? I just think, like I said, the timing just doesn't sit well with me. Let's have a look at some of your comments. The overlord of procrastination, Monreal will be fondly remembered by this Gooner. Cannon Fodder TV, another fantastic channel. Do check them out. Morning, Harry. Have to say, Arsenal have got this one wrong. Monreal was needed now more than ever. Kemaido Gooner says, will you play Kolasinac for his replacement on Sunday? Xhaka, definitely don't want to see Xhaka at left back. I think Sead Kolasinac is obviously the clear favourite to fill in that position, and it would make the most sense. And, you know, Sead Kolasinac is a player who I quite like. I like his fighting spirit, etc., etc. I like, you know, the way he bombs forward. I think his defending at times leaves a lot to be desired for, but that is a completely different issue. Winston says, good morning, Harry. I wish Nacho all the best. Former Arsenal striker, the one and only Super Kevin Campbell, is watching us live at the moment, says, Harry, Emery has to have a ruthless clear out, and this is just one of the moves. Kevin, I totally get where you're coming from. I agree that there needs to be a mass clear out at Arsenal. I think we've all known that for a little while, but I just feel like the timing of this is not right. And I'm going to stick my neck on the line and I'm going to say that I think Nacho Monreal over the last 3-4 seasons has been Arsenal's most consistent defender. And that I know that doesn't say much because I know Arsenal's defense has been an absolute shambles. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I feel like the timing is wrong. Kieran Tierney's nowhere near being fit. Sead Kolasinac, the whole incident with him and Mesut Ozil has meant that he's not played a lot of football yet. Is he ready to come into a game like this? I don't know. John P says, bad short term, but good in the long term. Wish him the best. Yeah, I think I kind of share that sentiment. I think, we should have seen Nacho Monreal move on at some point in this season, but with Tierney out injured, with Kolasinac not being fit, I don't think it was the right time. And, maybe Arsenal would argue that if they didn't sell him now, they were never going to get anything for him. But for me, a small fee like the one that's being quoted, that's the one that's being talked about, which is around about 250,000, just doesn't feel like it's worth leaving ourselves short. Calferg X says, great player, deserves the chance to leave and play in his home country as we've signed Tierney. This is a great point here. Kemaido Gooner says, will that mean that we'll play with 3 centre-backs on Sunday now? It could well do. Will we see Unai Emery change the shape? I hope we don't see him change the shape because I personally prefer back 4, but you wouldn't put it past him looking at his options now and thinking, is Sead Kolasinac an out-and-out left-back? No. It's probably more effective as a wing-back. Let's bring Callum Chambers in perhaps and play with the 3 at the back. I don't know. We'll have to see what impact this move has, of course, on the rest of Unai Emery's team selection. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like button, share. You know the drill by now. And of course, leave us your North London derby predictions. We done a preview yesterday, myself and Jay Burford, one of our writers, very talented individual, and we looked ahead to that game. But if you haven't caught up with that yet, leave your comment here. We want to know your predictions for this weekend's North London derby. As always, the fans phone in will return next week on Thursday night between 9 and 10 p.m. You'll be able to have your say on all things Arsenal. Dial us up, get involved live on air, and it will, of course, go out in podcast format. And you can find the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, or Spotify. I just want to say a massive thanks to all of you who are supporters of the podcast, whether you listen via the audio, whether you listen or watch via YouTube, because on YouTube we're approaching 250,000 views, and I know to a lot of people that's not significant, but by the time this video goes out, we will have surpassed that. So big thanks to every single one of you. Really appreciate that so much. Can't tell you how much. Let's have a look. A few more comments filtering through before we wrap up. Calferg says Maitland-Niles on the left, Chambers on the right. Maitland-Niles has played on the left before, did pretty well there actually. But I think Emery will not want to unsettle 2 positions. So I expect Maitland-Niles to stay where he is. But it's just, it's just my view. Matt Hales, Monreal, good servant for us. Surprised we're letting him go when Tierney is a month from match fit. Jolly 197028 says, good morning, Harry. I think it's time for Monreal to go. He has done enough. No time for him to go. Kevin Campbell again. He says Monreal has been consistent. There's no right time to get something for him at his age. We wish that so well. Indeed, Kevin. And if you don't already follow Super Kev on Twitter, give him a follow. At one Kevin Campbell. Brilliant guy, brilliant footballer, and someone who is always willing and always has time for the fans. And that's something that we really appreciate. He's been on the Chronicles of a Gooner before. He's been on various other podcasts too. And he's always happy to help, which is great. And I can't thank Kevin enough for how he's helped me since I started out as well. So big shout out to the one and only Kevin Campbell once again. Now, I'm going to leave you with a quick ad from our sponsors, loserpool.com. It's a last man standing game. So what you need to do is head over to loserpool.com, sign up for free. You can play for free now for your chance to win £1,000. You know the game Last Man Standing? It's the same, but all you do this way around is you pick the losers rather than the winners. And that's what Loser Pool is all about. Big supporters of the Chronicles of a Gooner, our main sponsor. Big thank you to them, because without them, we wouldn't have been the improvements that we've made over the last few months. So a big shout out to Chris and the team there. And we're going to leave you with a short ad for our sponsors. Loserpool.com. Check it out.